Hey guys, Jill here. Make sure that this is centered and all that. Okay, cool. So welcome to day one of the Jill Fit Business 42 days of online fitness business. Super excited. We're doing these all kind of Q&A style. I've been getting a lot of messages and emails and responses and DMs from you guys all about internet business and online space and why you are frustrated and what you need help with, and some of the biggest things that you want my help with in terms of growing your business, creating products and services, getting people on your email list, getting people interested in what you're saying. Like a lot of it is you don't know what to say, or you feel like everything's been said before, or you feel like you don't really know exactly what is going to get traction. So a lot of times what you'll do is you'll put up something you think will get some traction and it doesn't, or you're trying to be like someone else and that doesn't work, or you just get frustrated and you give up and you think, why bother? So today we're going to be talking about how to get traction. This is one of my favorite questions because I think one of the hardest parts is, especially with social media, is that we're getting minute-to-minute feedback, right? So if we post something online, we're getting like minute-to-minute feedback based on, do people like me? Do they not like me? And you know what's really interesting about this? There's so many parallels between online business and body image. So if you've been around Jill Fit for a while and you've been listening to and reading some of the blogs and things like that, you know that for a long time I was kind of obsessed with food and I was obsessed with my body, and I really didn't feel like I had much to offer if it wasn't in the realm of having a six-pack, being super in shape, getting in magazines, etc. And there's a lot of similarities when it comes to the affirmation that we desire from online business. So a lot of times we post something and we get immediate we get likes, we get shares, we get comments, or we get crickets. And a lot of times based on that feedback, we'll think, not maybe this post wasn't great, or I need to do better, or I need to figure out a way to get through, or is my message getting through? Instead of looking at it clinically, a lot of times what we do is we internalize and we start getting really attached to, it must mean that I'm not good, or it must mean that no one likes me, or I should just give up because no one's going to be here anyway. So high level, I really want to take you guys high level. We're going to be talking for 42 days straight, which I'm super pumped about. And so we have a lot of time to get into some really cool stuff. As you guys know, Action Academy starts tonight. Action Academy is a free 6-week online business course that I ran last year, and we had thousands of women do it. And it was, one of the most well-received programs because a lot of people said that they thought it lit a fire under their ass, and they took more action in 6 weeks than they had in the previous 12 months. So I know that there's a lot of people who want to do, want to kind of, especially for trainers and health coaches, we are seeing clients in the gym or grinding it out, personal training, teaching fitness classes. We're seeing, maybe clients across the desk. Maybe we're doing some Skype calls here and there, but we want to open up our schedule so we have more autonomy, and we want to be able to do distance coaching, and we want to be able to create online products and services or courses that, quote, make money while we sleep. And so, of course, there's going to be a ramp up phase. It's important to realize that. But if you're just getting started, if you have an expertise and you're just getting started, this is for you. So high level, remember, we're in the trust business. And what that means is, because you're a personal brand, when I say personal brand, I mean it's your face, it's your message, all of that right out front. People connect with you, right? People connect with a person. There's very few companies that people feel close to and connected with that are not actual people, or we don't know the person behind the brand, right? So even something like, Apple, we kind of know a little bit about Steve Jobs, or something like Metabolic Effect. We kind of know who started it. Precision Nutrition, we know that John Berardi's back there. Like, we kind of know. And what people are most wanting from us is connection. And so that means that we have to show them who we are, and we also have to tell them a lot over and over again the things that we're really good at and the things that we do well. So in order to get started, remember, you have this ramp up phase where no one knows you yet. So if you post online and all of a sudden you're like, I have an online business, people are like, what the hell is that? Like, what, people are just like, it's confusing because they've never seen that from me before. So there's going to be some ramp up time. And I think it's important to make space for that, because for us, we're like all in. We're like, wow, I'm doing all stuff. To me, it's just like dieting. We put a whole lot of effort into, dieting, strict meal plans, doing the workouts, and then we get on the scale 2 weeks later and we're down like 2 pounds. And we're like, that's not enough weight to have lost for all the effort that I put in. Same thing with online business. We feel like it's so much effort for so little return. And guess what? At the beginning, it's absolutely going to be. That's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a ton of effort, and you're going to be like, no one's paying attention, no one cares, no one's reading this, no one's liking it, no one's commenting on it. I suck. I'm going to go back. I shouldn't do this. And that's normal. But here's the thing to keep in mind. People are interested, they're just confused and they haven't seen you yet. You haven't been consistent yet. You're brand new. And so think about, for people who have been grinding, a lot of my Best of You women have been doing this for like 10 months, a year and 10 months, 2, 3, 4, 7 years. And it's insulting to them for you to think that you're going to get a whole bunch of traction right away. So keep that in mind. This is perspective. It's a long game. We're in the trust business. Trust by nature takes time to earn and to build. And so you have to go into it literally with being like, I'm going to get no response from this. People are confused. No one's going to like it. No one's going to comment on it. But I need to start somewhere. So at a high level, taking the long view, and it doesn't stay like that. I can tell you, for the women I've been working with who are in month number 10 of Best of You, things are starting to get a lot easier. Their messages are coming a lot clearer. They're drawing lines in the sand. They're getting people approaching them in person and being like, you're doing amazing stuff, blah, blah, blah. But the girls who've been with me for a year and 10 months, especially the ones who are in the Jill Fit Mastermind, I mean, they're like cruising right now. Like, a lot of them are quitting their jobs, or they're going to be able to very soon. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about not 10 days, not 10 months. We're talking about a year and 10 months, 2 years and 10 months. So realize that you have to ask yourself, how patient can I be? And also, do I love this? Because it's going to take some ramp up time. And if you're not ready and you're not on board with that, you are going to burn out. And it cannot be about the affirmation. So here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to use minute-to-minute feedback on your posts to dictate your behaviors. I'm going to say it again. I do not want you using moment-to-moment feedback on your post to dictate your behavior. What most of us do is we go, oh, a lot of people are liking this photo, I'm going to do more of this, or no one likes this, so I'm going to just stop posting. You can't do that. I want you to actually just think, I'm not going to get any likes, shares, comments, anything, but I'm still going to press publish. I'm still going to press publish. I'm still going to press publish. Okay. So that's the biggest thing, is just getting started, just committing to like, I'm doing this regardless of the response. For me, when I was obsessed with my body, I was like, I have to like myself. I can't be like trying to get affirmation from all these other places. It's the exact same issue dressed up in a different outfit. Now it's business instead of body image. So it's so many parallels. So we have to get right with us. And what that looks like online is, am I sharing a message that I'm pumped about? Am I sharing something that I'm super passionate about and excited about? And regardless of who likes it, shares it, comments on it, would I do this even if that wasn't the case? So that's how much you have to be on board with your message. So at a high level, that's what we need to think about. The second thing is, okay, what makes a good post? I get people asking me all the time, like, what time should I post? And, you know, what hashtag should I use? You guys, these are fine, but they're like small dial movers. They're like fine little tiny things. But the biggest dial movers are going to be your content. How useful is it? How interesting is it? How edgy is it? How compelling is it? How much does it make someone want to connect with you? And so there's two types of content. There's being the friend, which I call like your expertise, like sharing what you know. You're certified, you're credentialed. You know, what do you know? Someone came up to you at the grocery store and was like, what should I eat for dinner? Like, what would you actually tell them in that moment? That's a high value way of posting online. So show me what you ate. Show me what workout you did today. Tell me why you ate that. Tell me why you worked out that way. What's the science behind it? Or why do you enjoy that? How does it make more time for you? Share a little tidbit and educate me. So that's the being the expert part. You need to be an expert in some way, shape, or form. The second part is being the friend. Social media, personal branding, it is about your face. It's about your message. It's about the way that you say what you say. And so you have to show me. You have to open up your doors and you have to show me what's going on. And this can be hard for a lot of people when they're first getting into it. They go, well, I don't want to have to be on social media. You guys, if you want a personal brand on the internet, number one, you have to do social media. And number two, you can't just say, I'm bad at tech. I'm not a tech person. You have an online business. You have to do some tech. And so if you're not ready for it, that's okay. And it will ramp up, but it can't just be like, I don't want to be on social media. I don't like social media. You don't like social media, you can't do online brands. You just can't. You have to find a way to enjoy it. So it doesn't mean you have to like show every little piece of your life, but you have to consciously and strategically show me some parts of it. So what are your likes? What are your dislikes? What are some like quirky things about you that are, what are some vulnerable things? What are some transparent pieces? What are some stories that you can share? Maybe something that happened last weekend, or something that happened 5 years ago, or something that happened, 20 years ago. Share with me a story that gives me insight into who you are. So if we're both saying, hey, you need to cut calories to lose fat, one person is saying it this way, another person is saying it this way, saying the exact same thing, but it's the way that they're saying that is different. So you have to show me your personality. Don't try to be someone else because you that that's what is going to be successful. And it's normal. It's super normal when you're first getting started to sound like the person who you looked up to, or your mentor, or the person that you learned from. So it's okay. For the first like year or 2 years, you're probably going to sound like someone else. If your credential is with Precision Nutrition, or if it's with Metabolic Effect, or you just read every single blog that someone puts up, you're going to sound like them for a while. But over time and with experience of your own clients, things like that, you're going to start to see like, oh, I had 100 clients and 70 of them struggle with this one thing. Is there a tool or a system that I can use to address that maybe Metabolic Effect or Precision Nutrition is not addressing? And so that's how Moderation 365 came out. When I first started JillFit, I was very much in the school of Metabolic Effect. Is your heck in check? And I still love all that stuff. And there's no one better in my mind for fat loss than Metabolic Effect. But when I first started, it was like all of their verbiage, all of their rhetoric, all of their, the glossary of terms that they came up with. And over time, I was like, you know what? I'm dealing with a lot of women who are obsessed with food because that was what I was sharing. And Metabolic Effect didn't have like a mindset component at that time. They talked about habit change and things like that, but there was no like mindset component about like liking yourself and like liking your body. And is it okay to talk about this stuff? And Moderation 365 and all the glossary of terms that came out of that system came about from experience. That's why Action Academy is so important, because Action Academy is like, hey, let's do some stuff, have a full experience, and then see. And so if you're scared to get started because you're worried you're not going to get any traction, I'm going to just tell you right now, you're just not. You're just not going to get any traction, but you have to be okay with that, because in order to eventually get traction, you have to have a period of time of getting no traction. So what makes you interesting? What is your expertise? Are you an expert? And also, what makes you interesting or edgy or fun? There's something about you. Maybe it's the way that you talk, or maybe it's the silly faces that you make, or maybe it's a dog that you have that you're constantly showing, or maybe you have like a quirky, meal ritual, like all that stuff. We tend to think it's like, who cares about this? Believe me, people care. We are in the generation of the reality show. People want to know if Instagram stories and Snapchat are any indication, people are constantly wanting to know what the fuck we're doing, when we're doing it, who we're doing it with, where are we? And so the more of that you guys can put out there, the better. So number one, are you an expert? Share your expertise. How can you help? And then number two, who are you? Pull back the curtain on that. So even if you and someone else are saying the same thing, you're saying it in a new, different way. So high level, you have to love your message so much that you would do it, whether or not you get likes and shares and comments, do it for you, because you are now building a body of work. When I talk to people, a lot of my friends or acquaintances started in the fitness industry right around the same time I did. And many of them in 2010, 2011, and many of them have said to me in recent months, I wish I had stuck with it, because I would have been, I would be where you are right now. Or I wish I had gone all in, because I kind of didn't. And I feel like I'd be so much further along at this point if I had just done more. And so if you're worried about starting your business, start it now. Don't worry about the fact, oh, I wish I had started 5 years ago. Great. You wish you had, but you didn't. So let's start right now. You can start right now. You're not missing the boat. When I talk to people, a lot of them say, I feel like I'm missing the boat. I feel like there's no clients left. I feel like I'm wasting time. You guys, there's still so much opportunity, and so much more opportunity than there's ever been. People are much more comfortable with online training than they've ever been. We have so many more tools than we've ever had. Like when I started, there was no Instagram, there was no Snapchat, there was no Pinterest, right? YouTube was just getting ramped up. I was still on MySpace, right? Like there's always going to be new platforms. There's always going to be innovations. So start now. And remember, you have to post and move, post and move, post and move, especially if it's like one Facebook post or one Instagram post or one blog of like the hundreds and thousands that you're going to eventually do in your online business. Post and move. Post and move. What's next? What's next? What's next? Because now you're building a body of work, and that means something. It's hard because our ego's involved, and we want the likes, and we want the shares, we want people to think we're good and all that kind of stuff. And I get that. But here's the thing. I want you guys to know people are watching. People are paying attention. People are interested and they're intrigued, but they don't quite know what to make of it yet because you're new. And so the more that you post, the more they're like, oh, this is legit. Remember, this is a trust trigger, isn't it? If I see someone showing up day after day after day, I'm like, oh, they're for real. So you need to show people that you're actually doing this. And that is a trust trigger, a competency trigger for them to know, like, oh, this bitch isn't playing around. Like she's She's in this. And that's extremely important, right? So I'm going a little bit long today, but I have one more point that I want to make. And this is something that is so overlooked, but it's so important. If you want traction on your posts, you have to like other people's shit. If you want traction on your posts, you need to give other people traction too. Go to other people's things, like their stuff, go to Facebook groups, comment, add value, go to other people's accounts, make a valuable comment, not because you want to get something back, just because like that is about breeding familiarity, right? Consistency breeds familiarity, familiarity breeds trust, trust breeds outcomes. So show people, like, be there. It can't just be about you. Go share other people's content, like and comment on other people's stuff in a very authentic, genuine way, right? If someone puts a comment on something, like, don't just like that comment, respond back to them. Engage with them. If someone sends you a DM on Facebook and it's paragraphs long, don't ignore that. That's like someone who has reached out to you. Or if you don't like just quickly, sweep it under the rug or be like, hey, pay me for training, like that's a conversation that you can have. So don't worry about trying to turn it into sales as soon as possible. Remember, we're in the trust business. Some people have been following and commenting and interacting with me for 6-7 years and they haven't even bought anything. But they're not going anywhere but at some point they will, because again, it's this cumulative effect. So last thing is, make sure it can't just be about you. You got to go and you got to interact with other people, and not in a way that's like, gimme, 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 or tit for tat, but like genuinely you like their content, you want to interact with them, you want to add value, you want to share their stuff because it's good. People comment on your stuff. Don't just like the comment, respond back, reach out to people. It's extremely important. So it can't just be about you. You have to go and interact too. Facebook groups is a great place to do this. If you guys are not in the Action Academy group, make sure you join. I'm going to leave the link right here because we're starting tonight with the live trainings. And then I have a closed Facebook group so you guys can interact and keep one another accountable. But we're getting started. We're revving the fuck up for 6 whole weeks. It's going to be amazing. And today's just day 1. So I'm pumped. Thank you guys for being here, and I'm going to leave the link to join Action Academy, and we're going to get started tonight, and I will see you in a couple hours. And if you cannot be on live, you will get the recording, but you have to sign in to register for the course. You can't just be in the Facebook group. Cool. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you soon. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow.